All righty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day, lovely Friday. And with that being said, getting some TA. All right, guys, so it is a Friday. We will have the weekly update coming out tomorrow morning. This will be a short video. We're just going to quickly run through how things are looking going into the end of the week here. We have the weekly close in just about 2.5 hours now. And let's go over how things are looking, guys. So on the weekly charts, we're going to start off there. SPY over here. Guys, it's looking phenomenal. You don't have, you get a close like this, you don't have a reason to be bearish on this market. You really do not. This is something that, we typically do see followed by further upside, even if it is going to just create a wick next week. We probably are going to see this followed by further upside. We didn't even get the end of the day volume spike that is probably going to push this into increasing volume. And at that point, I'm just going to say, I think buyers get their way next week. I think we're going higher. You are currently at 578.70, pretty close to that 580 cycle level. Your high of day was 580.10, which, if you remember from last night's video, that is exactly what we were talking about with these cycle levels. You typically will see every $5 act as that, big spot there that, it's a spot of interest where the other side is going to start stepping in. All right. So that is a thing. 585 next week is on the table, and then 590 after that. All right. As far as support goes, we have 577.71, 574.71, 572.55, 569.80. I do not think we're coming back down here, so we're not even going to talk about it. QQQ. How are we looking to close out the week, guys? Another bullish look to you over here. And I am just going to point out, guys, we are so close to all-time highs that it makes no sense that we're not going to run up and test those. This is a very constructive look we got going on. And what comes next is an impulsive move. Okay. Another push up there. And, maybe after that, after a new high, maybe we pull back down, retest there, maybe retest here. And then we go, higher from there. That is typically how we see these kinds of looks play out. And I'm going to reiterate what I just said in SPY. You see it close out like this near the highs of the week, 490. We're just going to say, all right, unless you're going to fade all the way back down here to like 488, 489 by end of day, this thing's looking phenomenal into next week. All right, so that's QQ for you on the weekly time frame. On the daily, we'll just cover support and resistance real quick. Resistance, all right, 3 days in a row, you are rejecting that 493.69 level. That is going to be an important spot. If you can get above there, we probably get a straight shoot kind of move up to 498.44. All right, no pullbacks there. I mean, they could happen, but we clearly see this the important spot. You get above it, you get your impulsive move. Okay. So that's that. That's, on the upside. We're watching these two levels. Of course, we have 503.52 above there. I think that's very possible next week, guys. That means 1-2% days. All you need to get to an all-time high from right where we are right now. All right. On the downside of support, we have 490.63, 488.41, and 484.54. I do not think we are going to be coming back down here. But if you do come into, I'm actually going to take this off and we're going to put it right there, okay? So on downside of support, you have 490.63 and then 487.88. If you come test over here, that'll be a daily 9 test. You probably would get buyers stepping in there, at least on the first attempt. Maybe it puts in a hammer candlestick. And again, that wouldn't look bad at all. So that's what we got over here on QQQ. Moving over to IWM, guys. Today's a big day. I do believe I pointed out this in yesterday's video. These arrows, I did put on these arrows this morning for the morning brief. I am just going to say this is freaking looking explosive. All right, explosive. Guys, you got above 219.98. I literally said if you can get above, I changed the level over here, but it was around 218. That's your early warning sign that you're going to be breaking out of this bull flag. Dude, you went straight up to the next level, broke above 219.98. And, now, guys, you finally do have your first higher high over here on the daily time frame. All it takes now is that higher low followed by the higher high. And, yeah, this thing is going to be moving and grooving here. On the weekly chart here, this looks phenomenal. It looks like it's about to launch. And that's what I was trying to, pound the table on. It either is going to be going up or it's coming down 212.25 and then it's going up. It was one or the other. But quite frankly, guys, this is the best possible look we could have gotten. You're holding the weekly 9 over here. You did not come all the way back down there. You held that bull flag pattern. Now you have broken out of that. guys, next week, 225 on deck. Okay. I don't have to be right at all. I'm just going to, put it out there. That's what it's suggesting to me. It's suggesting we're probably going to be getting one of these impulsive moves that kind of over 1 to 2 weeks gets a, whole leg up over here, right? So I think over the next 2 weeks, I think we are going to start running up to, even 230. But, short-term target probably next week, 224.94. That is going to be the high from right over here. I'm going to take off this because it was not needed. But yeah, guys, you did put in that hammer candlestick. So, that's what was in my morning brief this morning for the Discord is, as far as IWM guys goes, we do have, that hammer candlestick followed by that increasing volume. We had that look right over here and that marked the bottom before you, really went. And as you could see, that also marked the bottom here before you really went. And now, guys, you're finally breaking out of this consolidation pattern. This has been consolidating for 3 weeks now. We're about to get 1 to 2 weeks of squeeze action. Okay. Upside. Yes. Upside, not squeeze downside, upside. That's IWM for you. We have 221.13 above there, 222.45, and then 224.94. 226.64 above there, and then 229.84. As I just mentioned, I think over the next 2 weeks, we're going to make our way up here. You could look on this monthly chart as well. This thing looks freaking phenomenal. All right. It looks phenomenal. Take away all of that. This thing is definitely getting ready for a move up here, guys. That is what we have loading. All right. I can't say definitely, I guess. We're going to say 98% odds. Henry odds. All right. We're going to come check out the VIX over here, guys, on the daily time frame. I did mention yesterday's video, I do think VIX is actually going to come down and test that, daily 9 over here. And that's where we get to see what happens in the short term, right? Is it going to slice underneath and we start actually, moving down? Then we can look for a retest. And then on that retest, we look for VIX to get crushed again. That's good. The VIX ties into our bigger picture point of view pretty greatly over here. And, I see no reason not to have it in there. Right now, it's a critical spot, guys. We're either going to be getting that pullback. VIX going to, probably get a dead cat bounce with how everything else is set up. Or we're going to see it just slice on underneath it. And then we retest it from the downside. Like, underneath it, like something like that. And then, we get a pullback in the indices on that move. And then we know when it's testing it, sellers on VIX are probably going to push it back down, even though there's no buying sellers. We don't care. All right. Sellers are going to push it back down. That brings indices back up. All right. And that pretty much tells us that, that pullback on the indices is going to be a buying opportunity. So right now we're at a pivotal point right here. We're going to see what happens. Okay. Expect a reaction around this daily 9, though. That is what I want to say. All right. Moving over here to DIA. I actually did point out in last night's video, specifically over here on YM, you had, just a sexy break and retest going on over here. And, I wasn't saying I'm looking for anything crazy, but I'm looking for 1 to 2% more of upside after this retest. All right. What do we get today, guys? We literally got another percent from that, retest down here. 0.9%, pretty close. Okay. But we typically don't see the action that we're seeing right now followed by a downside. We typically see it followed by that next leg up, just like you had this exact same thing. It was over here. Okay. You got that over there. You went bang. Okay. You went bang, bang. And you got that kind of same look over here as well. What happened? You just kept going up. You retested right over here and then you kept going up. It also happened to align with that daily 9. All right. All of this ties into the bigger picture point of view, and that's how we stay on top of things over here on this channel. I don't think there is anybody else on YouTube who does it like we do it. So I hope you guys see what I see. I hope you guys are making, use out of what we go over every day here on this channel. But quite frankly, this market's looking freaking sexy. Okay. It's looking sexy. All right, so those are the indices. We're going to come over and just run quickly through these semiconductors here in the video. I'm just going to say, guys, this thing is going to 140.76. It's probably going to happen next week. I made the call that if you could, get above 127.67, you are going to start your move up here. Nothing has changed. You pull back over here to 130.75 next week. That is the retest of this daily 9. It's going to catch up. It's going to say, meet me halfway, right on the 130.75 level. That's where we're going to stay. For you, we'll be looking out for that NVDA dip by a tree because we're gonna win this shit and we're going up to 140. Da-da-na-na, na-na-na-na. That's how we're gonna play this guy here. Na 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 na. On to his big brother AMD. You got the break and retest, and now you're finding buyers. We talked about this in last night's video. 4-hour RSI was oversold. Downside was limited down to over here. You're either going to get buyers stepping in right here off the retest of that massive weekly bull flag, or you were going to come all the way down here. You did have your AMD event yesterday. You did sell off of that, but you are now getting buyers stepping up. I think this is a sexy chart ready to go, and I think it is worth you keeping on your radar. Above 168.73, we have 174.53. We ever so slightly missed there. We know there's sell orders sitting here, considering we missed it by, a couple cents over here. High was 174.05. 174.53 is, that spot. So expect sellers up here, but above there we have 179.69 and then 187.28. I do think the move to 187.28 is underway, and from there you're going to have a higher weekly, high over here, and we're probably coming up here. Okay? That's what we're watching over on AMD. But if price does decide to pull back, we're just going to pay attention to 162.04, since that is exactly where sellers started stepping in yesterday. You had sellers stepping in. Oh, look, a psychological level, 162 on the dot. You could see it right up there. All right, underneath there, we have this zone. I don't really want to see you retest the zone. I'm going to be completely honest, but I got my alert in case it happens anyway. What just happened with my level? I didn't even hit delete. All right, moving on over here to Avgo, guys. You did have that double bottom breakout, and you retested that. And now, what do we also have? We mentioned this in yesterday's video. The most recent breakout level is going to be 180.25. Expect buyers there. Why do you expect buyers there? At least for a dead cat bounce on the first attempt, because you have the daily 9 there, and there's absolutely no reason that we, should be looking for price to just sell right through there. That is where the opposing side is probably going to be stepping in. Excuse-moi. All right, TSM, how we looking, guys? Next week, 193.47 all-time high incoming. I, outlined this. I've talked about it every step of the way here. This was your buying opportunity, and what happened? Okay, we're back up at the highs. That's what happened. You come over here to ARM. How we looking? We're approaching 153.50 next week, guys. Next week. MU, how we looking, guys? We're just, dragging ourselves up to 111. Again, if you can get up to 111, get that daily close above, you have your double bottom breakout. Looking good. Okay. SMCI, how are we looking over here? You're still just, it's a waiting game over here in SMCI. I think it's going to go, but I definitely want to say SMCI is known to be a troll. It's going to take his dear sweet time. And, once things start going, that's when momentum can really, gain some steam here. And we can definitely see a quick move to 55 to 60 bucks over here in the short term. And I think it's possible that that does happen next week. But I will point out right here, oh, look at that. That's beautiful. I will point out right here that you are rejecting the weekly 9, but, first attempt, we're always expecting that rejection. You do have the increasing volume on the week, and, it is relevant that you are taking out this high right here. This was, you're kind of in a range over here. You swept the low, and then after that move, you went straight up to take out that high. I think there's a solid chance that next week this thing does start heating up here. You literally started your initial move, made the higher high, pulled back. This could be your potential higher low off of that daily 9. Actually tapped the 0.618 fib there, and now you're pushing back up, and you're just kind of consolidating here. I think it's ready to go. You're just going to have to wait on it. All right, so that's that. We're going to come over here, talk about some big boys. Guys, Apple is still just rejecting this downtrend. You don't really have much to watch over here other than that downtrend. And then above there, we have 232.92. And if you can't take out 232.92, you probably do get that move up here like I talked about in last night's video, up to 240. It's actually like 241, 242-ish. But that would be that measure move from this little range we got going on over there, all right? Microsoft, how we looking? It is still weak, and I told you guys there's no reason to really get too bullish on this thing until it can reclaim this daily 9. It's not going to just, rip faces right away. You literally see it. It got above it. It came back to retest the next day. You're not going to miss out if you just wait. That's the point. My point is you're not going to miss out if you just wait. The only thing telling you to go into this thing long from right here is your FOMO. And, I'm not going to necessarily say, I think it's the worst, place to be buying here. Okay. I think downside is limited over here on Microsoft, but at the same exact time, We know what works on this channel. We know how price action goes, okay? If you are underneath this, you have the bears still in control. That is your short-term moving average. You have no reason to get bullish underneath that thing. Just like when you're above it, you don't have a reason for, things to really sell. You don't, okay? And, you're going to keep getting these bearish reactions until you actually do get above it. That's just how that's going to go. So that's Microsoft for you. Once you can get above, you probably get a quick move to 425. But over here on Good, guys, you did find buyers over here off of 161.63 support. That is, actually a gap that was left open over here. You filled that, and this is exactly the reason why, I have had comments over the years. I don't really mention anymore much about these gaps, but over the years I've had comments saying, "Oh, that's not how you do a gap. The gap would be over here, dude." Okay. Dude, I'm going to tell you right now. You see how price never came down there? What freaking use is this doing for you? It's not doing you anything. Do what works. I show you what works in these videos. Take advantage of it. It is free information. It is free money. There you go. You want to learn the skill set, literally watch our daily videos, and you will probably start seeing the same exact patterns that I have developed, my eyes to see over the last few years. And I promise, you put in your screen time, you watch these charts, you don't even have to watch them in real time like I do. You could just watch these videos and you'll know what's happening every single day. And then you'll see, oh, price did that, it led to that. Over time, you'll start having that pattern recognition. Okay, so that's Goog for you. You got to get above that daily 9. You're still underneath it. Above 166.61, we're pushing to 170.41. And on that next attempt, I do think it breaks and we take a ride up to 176 to 178. Amazon going for a ride today, and on the weekly chart, this thing looks absolutely phenomenal. Congrats if you did buy our buy zone down here between 178.90 and 182.39. We had a good time. We're still having a good time, and I think we're going to have an even better time next week. I think we're going to be coming up here this 195 high. Take out 195.37. That is the final TP here for, what I was planning over here. And yeah, I think we're heading up to $200, right? And I'm just saying, if you entered here, it doesn't you could have bought the November cons with me, and guess what? You're still gonna be up big. So don't be a greedy little pig. That rhymes. You could be a greedy pig if you want, but I'm telling you right now, over time, you're gonna see that doesn't necessarily work. Okay, and the plan was up here. You're going to find sellers here. You're definitely going to find sellers up here. And I don't think it's worth, for this extra $5 here. Let's look at it this way. You get the breakout. You're probably going to get a retest at some point, and we have another setup to play. There's always opportunities, guys. The only thing, it was what I was saying on Microsoft earlier, the only thing telling you to do these things before you actually get told to do these things by the charts is your FOMO. All right? It is your fear of missing out on a move. I am here to tell you, every single day, we get plenty of opportunity in this market. Every single week, we get plenty of opportunity in this market. More than 5 setups every single week. I have in the weekly update 10 to 20 freaking setups going into the following week that we can all pay attention to. That is what you focus on. You don't focus on the thing that, isn't, the odds aren't in your favor. It's not how this game works, okay? Amazon, though, odds are definitely in our favor right now for a move up here to 195.37. That's what I'm looking for. Weekly time frame looks absolutely phenomenal. I do think we're about to have that next leg up. Doesn't have to go straight up like I was just talking about, but I do think we're going to have the next leg up. Meta over here, guys, the dip is a buying opportunity. Not sure how much of a dip we're going to get, considering you just keep finding buyers off the daily 9 over here and your previous break and retest level off of 583.04 right there. Underneath 583.04, you got 577.40, 568.73, 562.35, 554.19. Do I think you're getting down here? No. Do I think you're going to consolidate and then push up? Yes. Resistance is 594.39 and 602.95. That's what I'm paying attention to. I'm not going to be playing this thing anymore. I already played this thing, and got to sell right at 600 beans. Congrats if you got to sell the absolute, high with us before you just kind of pulled back about $20 there. Congratulations. Okay. On the weekly time frame, this thing very clearly just started this leg up. If it pulls back, it creates your buying opportunity. It doesn't have to, but I promise the pullback is extremely likely just going to lead to new highs. So that's the promise. Likelihood is, odds are on your side if you're buying that pullback. Tessie had the event, got crapped on, and yeah, got crapped on. There's enough said there. Tessie, I took a gamble on you. I knew what these charts were telling me. You had so much rejection on the daily 9. You literally came down and broke your uptrend. But I was like, oh no, this is gonna be a big event. I feel like anytime I say, guys, just know if I ever get excited about Tesla off of an event, just know I am always bullish on these events, and I feel like over time I have seen them get, sell the news type style events instead of, buy the news. So just know if you hear me moving forward, getting excited on a Tesla event, that I will probably be wrong because I'm usually bullish on it, and Tesla likes to get shat on off these events. So that is that. 4-hour RSI is oversold. You came down, you almost tapped the 0.618 fib, and now you do have this, you have a doji candlestick. It's the opposite of a spinning top. If you do have a gap up on Monday, you have your, island reversal set up. Potentially, gonna be there for us. All right. So if we do get the gap up above 223.53, that is when I'm gonna be watching that 233.09 level. That is gonna be a key spot. There's your inverse head and shoulders neckline. You failed that, and boom. All right. So we do have this, increasing volume on today. That is an obvious. You had a massive move, minus 8%, minus $20 move. But I do think downside is limited here in the short term over here on Tessie. You can come down into this area. I think you're going to get bought up. All right. And I like December contracts. I like the December 300 call. I like it. All right. I do like it. Okay. So those were the big boys. What do we got? What do we got, guys? We'll talk about some biddy of the corn. It is exploding. All right. Which does lead me to believe we are probably going to be seeing some upside on the miners. Okay. The crypto stonks now above 62,859. We have 65K. Coin over here. What happened? You did end up holding the 0.618 fib. I said in yesterday's video how I don't think it's going to hold it. I thought Bitcoin was probably going to be coming down. That's how I was looking. Well, what's happening? It's exploding. Okay. So coin, you are reclaiming that 175 level. Above there, we have 191. You really don't have anything between here and here. So as long as Bitcoin doesn't crap the bed, even if you just consolidate over the weekend here going into Monday, I think coin probably does get a move up to 191. MSTR. Oh, dude. Pull back to the daily 9 again. Oh my gosh. I spent time on this one last night. It's okay. Actually, I spent a lot of time talking about all of this stuff last night. It was a chill, laid back video. Hope you guys had some fun. I'm just saying, this thing just had a fresh breakout. You now pull back to retest it. There is the next long entry there. Pull back to test either 200 or 183.70. Those are your breakout levels. I really like this thing. I think this thing is heading, much higher here. If Bitcoin runs to all-time highs, MSTR is going to have a leg up, and it could be a big leg up. So there's definitely something to pay attention to. And this is why I was saying, the focus should be on this guy if you're playing Bitcoin. Not the these pieces of craps. What is this crap? You've done absolutely nothing. You see Bitcoin's chart. You see this big move right here, 4% move. Why is MAR only up 6%? That's crap. All right. So you did end up holding that little uptrend there after your false breakdown, reclaimed it. And now I do want to say, all right, above 1670, probably are going to start moving towards $19. TSLA. This is one that is getting, more of a bit over there. The MAR, you are, this one's making sense. MSTR is up 14% right now. TSLA is up 11%. MAR is only up 6%. Crap. Coin is up 8%. MAR is definitely the laggard right now. And let's actually, before we move on, what's Riot doing? Riot is up 6% on the day. Honestly, though, this chart looks a lot more constructive than what we got over here on MAR. MAR looks like a piece of poop. All right. But yeah, CLSK over here above 975. I do think you're going to make a straight push for 1047 and then 1144. 1275 and then 1370. That is my ultimate target for this push. I don't even want to play this thing. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't want to. I'd much rather focus on tech and semis right now, and that is what I'm doing. All right. So those are the miners, and again, this Bitcoin move could fail. We have absolutely no idea. From the looks of it, it's probably starting, one of these impulsive moves. Maybe you get a pullback and maybe it's just, boom, a tight pullback and then boom, you have another leg higher. That's just how it's looking to me. Notice how you had that, slow rebound there. Well, this is a quick rebound following that hammer candlestick. It's looking really nice. But I'm also going to say this thing has been a troll here. But look at that, dude. You did do exactly what we talked about in yesterday's video. I said, unless you can turn this thing around and put a large lower wick here to end the week over the weekend, the thing looks like it was going to come all the way down here. What happened? We literally put in that, lower wick all in one day. Let's see if it holds over the weekend going into next week, because this actually could look really good for the miners. MSTR is kind of already a high. So, I really don't have an interest in playing these things. But that's just me. Okay, now let's just talk about some things that I am paying attention to, some trade ideas for you. TLH, I talked about it yesterday. You could get some consolidation here. Maybe it just consolidates for a few trading sessions here. Daily 9 catches up to price, and then you launch off of that. That could be how this goes. That is definitely something that I am, paying attention to. All right, next one, Dell, guys. I think it's heading up to 133.63. I am tight on this. I'm not, honestly, I'm way more tight at Pan W than this. And after I just keep, every day I go back and check the freaking calls I had. I'm freaking tight. I had the 360s. What the heck is this crap? What the heck is this crap, guys? They went to $2,000 today. And they went down. I'm so tight, dude. That was a 10x from where I sold. 10 freaking X. More than 10x. Probably like a 12x. I'm tight. This thing's going higher, guys. It is going higher. It's going to take out the 380 level. 380.84, that is the previous all-time high. I know you're stalling out right now. If it pulls back, that is 110% guaranteed. That is your buying opportunity, all right? You pull back. We got above here, all right? You broke above the 0.786 fib. You push up this high. That move is complete, okay? The next setup that is here is on this pullback. How deep of a pullback we get, I really have no idea. On the weekly chart, it looks freaking insane. So I have to assume we're probably not going to get too much of a pullback. If it pulls back to 365.50, I think it's going to act as a buying opportunity. I think price is probably going to catch up to that daily 9. And just like we come over here to MSTR, listen, when things are on the move, things are on the move. This kind of, meta, actually, we have a bunch of, charts that could, do these things. You pull back to the 9, you don't get a deeper pullback. You just, that's your short-term momentum moving average there. Hey, all right, bulls are still in control here. We're moving higher. Okay, well, that could be exactly what happens over here on Pan W. So if you want to put it on your radar, that is, something you could pay attention to. But, the move I originally called out, it was literally on this breakout right here. I'm still extremely salty about it, as you could tell. And, yeah, I mean, it played out. So I'm just saying, play at your own risk. I'm tight. Salty as hell. It's okay. It'll be okay. All right. Next one I want to point out, TLT, guys, it is finally coming down to that spot we pointed out. When you started breaking down to the 0.786 fib right here, we took out that low, right? Or not the low. We took out the 0.786 fib. I know you found buyers there, but that does tell us it is likely that that is going to be a dead cat bounce. What happened? You came back up to the daily 9. You couldn't get a daily close above the daily 9. And then you free fall. You plummeted, face planted, all right? Face palmed. You said, boom, all right? Actually, guys, I left the comment under Heisenberg on Twitter. If you're not already following me on Twitter, go check out the Twitter over there. I'll post some charts. Yeah, I literally, I was like, or maybe it wasn't Heisenberg. Maybe it was Stock Market News or whatever. But yeah, yesterday I posted, he was like, describe Tesla's event in one word or something like that. And I did facepalm because I knew for a fact most of the times that I'm bullish on these events, I end up having that exact same feeling. I'm like, oh my God, facepalm. You did it again, you piece of garbage. And yeah, Tesla did turn into a giant freaking facepalm. If it died. All right. But so did TLT over here. TLT is now approaching that uptrend. This was like literally the target. Okay. We were saying if you broke under here, probably going to come down here into the zone. We're going to have to see what happened. You start breaking on it here. And now you have room all the way down here to 93-ish, all right, which is where your 0.618 fib is from this whole entire run. I think it's very likely that you do get buyers defending this trend line. You probably do get a sweep under that trend line. And then, under this trend line here as well, we have, intersecting trend lines here. We have a good confluence spot is what I'm getting at. Daily RSI is oversold. I'm liking TLT long down here. So it's definitely something to put on your radar. I know, I didn't short it. Maybe you guys didn't play it on the downside when we were calling it, but now is that next long opportunity. And the last one we pointed out was on all of these guys where we just kept coming down to the freaking golden pockets. And then we kept seeing life get, birthed into this thing. Okay, you found one right there. That was test number 1. What happened on the second one? You had test number 2. What also happened? The 4-hour RSI and all these occurrences were oversold, and we were right on that uptrend, so we had the confluence there. But back to back right there, golden pocket test. You guys want to see something freaking crazy? What happened? You came back, you tested a third freaking time. And then what happened? You skyrocketed, you broke out of that downtrend, and you went for a ride. All right, you went up for a ride to a new high, and you pulled all the way back here. And now we're getting the buy the dip opportunity, the same buy the dip opportunity that we called out over here. It's now here. Okay, it's here. And if you want to see why it's, ever so similar to that, well, guess what? Where's price right here? Where did you base out? You have an inverse head and shoulders pattern. Where did it happen? Right there underneath the 0.618 fib, guys. You are coming into that. Even if you break that uptrend, I'm still going to say you're probably going to get buyer stepping in here for at least a dead cat bounce up to 95-ish. Okay, and that would retest this heavily traded zone there. But I like it. Daily RSI is now oversold. You're at like 28. Yeah, so 27.65 down there on the daily RSI. This thing probably is going to catch a bounce down here. We could either see it, go something like that, or we could see that. All right, one or the other. 2 paths, both lead to the upside. That's what I'm watching over there. Okay. Next one we were talking about is Oxy. All right, Oxy did end up holding this daily 9 over here on the weekly time frame. It is literally setting up kind of just like this, just on a larger scale. Okay, so over here, this was a 9% move. This was a 5% move. This pullback over here was 0.8%. This was 1.35%. Point is, same thing going on as over here. You reclaim the weekly 9, you have that consolidation week, and we probably do get an extension week next week. Last time, that's 3%. So in terms of, the scale we're talking here, maybe we get a 5 to 6% move off of wherever this thing closes. So if it's right here, maybe we do end up seeing a move up to that 58.47 spot. That is a big spot right there. You have the 0.618 fib right above it. So expect sellers right here. Give me my magnet. Give me my freaking magnet, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. All right. Next one we're talking about, Oklo. You're still sitting right there. I'm actually not liking how this is looking, but I will put it on your radar. I'll keep it there because, for the time being, it's kind of, it's in the spot. You want to see buyers step in. And I think this thing could very easily come up here. You got buyers willing to step in here. Let's see if they step in for a higher low over here before going up here to, 1242. DJT, that's the last one I'm going to be mentioning here as a trade idea. I'm just going to say, if this thing pulls back, it's a buying opportunity. I do think it's going to test the zone up here. This is your heavily traded zone, and it starts at about $32. I think we have room up to $32. I know there's a lot of lines here, and it looks like a mess, but at the end of the day, all right, you got a downtrend break, and now you're going for a freaking ride. If you want to even use, golden pocket here in this analysis, where does it step in? Right there in our heavily traded zone. We're looking for a move up to at least $32. Then you have the 0.618 fibs and right at $33. I'm liking it. So pull back, buying opportunity, go higher. It would be something like that. You pull back, you go higher. Pull back, you go higher. This one did not get a pullback. Okay, and then you have the initial one. Oh my God, this thing has been around for so long, it's been ridiculous. It feels like it was just last year. It was not, though. It was like 3 or 4 years ago. Craziness. DWAC, I remember that thing. It was crazy. All right, guys, so that's what I'm going to conclude this video with. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I am just going to end this video with a nice, firm reminder here that everything looks like it, can easily explode from here. It looks like, definitely pullbacks are buying opportunities, but this thing, if you close out like this, you're probably not even getting a pullback next week. You're probably just going to push up to highs. Okay, so firm reminder from boy Henry J over here. Weekly charts suggest further upside. Things are set up to rip. SPY over here set up to rip higher. QQQ set up to rip up, back up to all-time highs. IWM looks absolutely monstrous. Fresh bull flag breakout over there on the daily time frame, and on the weekly, it looks absolutely monstrous. This thing could really just pounce off of here, all right, and explode up to this 230 mark. DIA, what do we got? Pull back to the weekly 9 after consolidating there, and then boom, you started the next leg up. VIX, piece of crap. Piece of crap. Do you see what happened last time you had a candlestick? I know it's not on this scale here, but you know, hey, what happened next week after that? You absolutely tanked. You faded the crap out of this bad boy, and I think it is probably, you know, it's on the table for next week. You have the daily 9 here. It doesn't need to find buyers at the daily 9. It probably will on that first test, but it doesn't need to. Okay? Regardless, big spot here. Weekly suggests we're probably going to see further downside here on VIX. You literally have this like leftover, you know, gap on a closing basis here. It's still there. I'm thinking this thing crushes. Okay. And now you want to talk about the big boys? NVIDIA looks freaking monstrous. All right. What do we got over here on Apple? Not looking bad at all. Microsoft, Doji candlestick, not the best look. Goog, what do we got? You're holding that weekly 9. You came back and filled that gap over there at 160, 163, and it doesn't look bad at all. Amazon is a freaking monster. Meta, all right, you're just consolidating here. But it already started that monstrous move over there. Tesla's a piece of garbage. We're not talking about that guy. All right, we're talking AMD over here. Break and retest off that weekly bull flag. Avgo, what do we got over here, guys? We literally swept the highs over here. But notice, we barely moved after breaking out of this massive consolidation here, which it took the form of your double bottom. What happens? Okay, we're probably going to see a larger move here, considering that was 37 bucks. This would bring us way up to 210. All right, ARM, how we looking? Like a freaking monster. TSM, how we look like a monster. We're not going to talk about MU, but you know, you're not looking too bad over here. SMH, a monster. They call him the monster. Semis are taking back control to drag this market back up to highs. Big tech, all-time highs next week. Let's run it. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your Friday, and I will catch you all tomorrow morning, and I will have 10 to 20 fresh trade ideas going into the following week for you. That being said, catch you all in the next one, which will be tomorrow morning. Peace.